Welcome to Table for One. I'm the narrator, and in today's video, I'll be doing a rules refresher for Nemesis Retaliation. And this is a rules refresher for one of the game modes in the stretch goals box. I'll be teaching you today how to play with the Insider. Let's get rolling. Alright, so I'm ready to teach you how to play with the Insider expansion from the Nemesis Retaliation stretch goals box. So as always, I do have chapter markers, so if you have a specific question, you can jump around. And if you'd like to see this in action, I'll be releasing a solo playthrough in a couple days. So be sure not to miss it by subscribing to the channel. You can leave a like if you find this helpful. I'll also put this video on Board Game Geek. You can leave a like over there where you can also pick up a Table for One micro badge. And as always, don't forget to head over to my coffee page, ko-fi, link in the description. Like all the fine people whose names are listed here on the screen. Table for One's reserved seating is limited to my monthly contributors. So if you've got a recurring monthly contribution to Table for One, you'll get your name in the videos. And then the Table for One Head of the Table Award is for the top 10 contributors over the last 90 days. So to all of my coffee contributors in any form, thank you very much for making videos like this possible. So let's jump into the rules now. So we'll start with the components. If you want to play with the Insider, there are three things you need. You need your Insider, which is either going to be a mini or a standee, depending on which version of the stretch goals box you have. I've got the mini here. There's one Insider card. It's double-sided. It says Friendly Insider on one side, Hostile Insider on the other side. You're going to need that. And then you'll need this deck of 55 story cards. And these are pretty slick. This is very cool. And at first, 55 cards sounds like a lot, but it's actually really well streamlined. So at the start of the game, you're just going to take all these components, set them off to the side, and you'll know when you need them. So let's move the mini and the Insider card away. As for the story cards, I'll just note that they're all numbered 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 55. Do not shuffle them. Keep them in order, and just keep card number 1 on top here, and you'll set that deck to the side also, and I'll talk about how we get to use this stuff now. But I should note quickly that the Insider expansion is only compatible with the standard Nemesis Retaliation game. It doesn't work with any of the other expansions, like specifically the other types of intruders. So you can't mix it with the Neo-Flesh cult, for example. You can only mix and match it with things like the Lucky Burst die or other characters. You can play with any additional characters, that's fine. So let's talk now about how the Insider gets introduced. Because at the start of the game, when playing with the Insider expansion, they are never in play. All their stuff is just up to the side. So I've got a mini here for the Combat Engineer. They're in the Life Support Control Room A, and we are going to have them explore down this unexplored corridor. So they're going to take their action, go down this way, and we get a shelter. Okay, so they've discovered the shelter. And let's say that happened with this exploration card here. So we're going to go ahead and go through this whole exploration card first. So we would add our other corridors, following any normal rules. It looks like in this case, we would place some noise tokens on them. So here's some noise tokens. We put a malfunction marker in the room. Do whatever else the card said. If it was a cautious move, then we would secure the room. And then entrance effect, we would close the doors. So that would be this one here. And then we would remove the card from the game. But if you'll notice, in the bottom right-hand corner, there is this little icon here. And that is not on all exploration cards. So the first time you reveal an exploration card with that icon, you go ahead and fully resolve the card like we've done here. In this case, we remove the card from the game. And now we are going to take the story deck and find the cards related to the room we just discovered. So this one is the shelter. So we're going to look through here. So we've got Life Support Control A, B, or C, Surgery, Server Room, Nest. There's all sorts of stuff in here. Shelter. So you're going to take just the cards that say shelter. The rest of them, you put them back to the box. You're not going to need them. And so the first card is going to have this little box around the number, and they're all listed shelter, so you're going to keep them in order. And so these are the cards that are used as examples in the rule book, so I'm trying to spoil as little as possible. But after fully resolving that exploration card and now finding the appropriate story cards, you're going to read the first one, So they do go in numerical order. So you start with the lowest number, read the first one, and after you've read it, you're going to flip it over to its backside. And there's going to be a few things going on here. So in this instance, there is an instant effect here at the top, some sort of ongoing effect here, and then a new action that's introduced here. So when you're not in combat, you can spend one action card to do what this says. And you'll notice on this action, the bottom part of it says, so you take this action, it says discard one medical item and then go to number 30. So go to 30 means you advance the card. So you go to card number 30. And at that point, you would read this card and flip it over, and this may do other things. So when a card tells you to go somewhere else, that's telling you to resolve another card. You will also see that some cards have this icon. And so this icon means the next time you reveal an exploration card that has this little icon in the bottom corner, you also resolve this, and frequently that'll tell you to go to another card as well. So again, the 4 types of things you'll see on the back of these story cards are an instant effect, an ongoing effect, a new action, or something that's activated by this icon on an exploration card. Now, just as the first time you see an exploration card with this icon on it, it activates the story and you fully complete it before then revealing the first story card. Anytime later in the game that you reveal this symbol and it's on the current active story card, you still fully resolve the exploration card and then do what it says here, unless the card tells you to do something otherwise. Now let me show you another example. Normally, you've got your stack of story cards, read the first one, flip it over. At some point, you'll be told to go to the next card. So you would just discard that top one and then go to the one you're told to go to. Again, read the front, flip it over, and the back is active. There's only one card going at a time normally. But sometimes you'll read the story, you'll flip it over, and you'll see the back has this dotted line like this. That means after you're told to go to the next card, you will take that card, you'll read the story, flip it over, and then that card will go on top of the old card to the dotted line so that the bottom part is still revealed. So in this instance, then everything on the top and everything down here below that dotted line is still active. So these are going to be like special ongoing rules or additional actions that are still available even after you've moved to the next card. Now, let's get these out of the way, and you'll notice that so far we haven't actually used the Insider Mini or the Insider card yet. So a lot of the story cards will tell you to put the Insider on the map or to set up the Insider card, but until you're told to do those things, those components just aren't part of the game. So let's take a look at this Insider card. So this is the friendly Insider side. As I mentioned, it's friendly on one side, hostile on the other. Now let's cover the case for a moment. You could be told to place the Insider on the map, and there is no Insider card yet. And when that happens, it means the Insider is completely not interactive in any way for both the characters and for the game. So unless a story card specifies something else, just assume she's like hiding or she's protected or something. And some general notes on the Insider: she can only be in a room, she can't be in a corridor, and she can only move through empty corridors. So she can move from here to here, but now in this case, she would not be able to go back because it's not empty. She also may not move through unexplored corridors and may not explore new rooms, or discover new rooms rather. And unless otherwise specified by a story card, the Insider doesn't interact with any of the Nemesis mechanics. So for example, with fire, she wouldn't take any fire damage, doesn't interact with it. So okay, let's get back to the friendly Insider now. We'll use this friendly side of the card first. So if you've got the friendly Insider card, that means that in this story, the Insider is your ally. So when this card is revealed, you put a marker on the health track all the way to the left, so she always starts all the way healthy. And then there's a couple new things going on. So when you are in the drawing action card step of your turn, if you are in the same room as the Insider, you draw one additional card. And then there is a new action available if you are in the same room as the Insider, or if you are in an adjacent room, you may spend one action card, and you may then move the Insider to a neighboring room as long as there are no intruders in it, and she has to go through an empty corridor. Then, when she gets there, she does have to make a noise roll. And then finally, intruders can attack the Insider if they're in the same room as her, but you always treat her as last in turn order. So the intruders will always prefer to attack anyone else before attacking the intruder, but given that, she can be attacked. Same thing with movement. Intruders are always going to move towards characters if possible, not the insider. She's not really considered a character, even if she's closer. Larva will never attack the insider, so she doesn't have to worry about that. But if an adult, a drone, or the queen somehow does attack the insider, you still draw an intruder attack card as normal and apply the effect. So she's going to lose her health, right? Whatever the card says. But just completely ignore any time she would need to gain contamination. Don't have to worry about that. And then whenever she would gain a serious wound, instead lose 2 health. There's a little reminder on the bottom. And if the tracker gets all the way onto the skull, then the intruder dies. I'm sorry, the insider dies. Then the insider dies. I'll come back to insider death in a moment. Let's look at the other side of the card. This is the hostile insider. So when this card's set up, it means that in the current story, the insider is your enemy. So there's just a couple of additional rules on this one, and they're both here on the card, so it's easy enough. Start with the bottom one. The insider and all intruders completely ignore each other. And then interestingly, all the characters treat the insider as an intruder. So that means you may shoot at the insider using any standard rules. You can kill the insider the same way as an adult intruder. So she can't be in corridors still. She can only be in rooms, so you can't use the burst, but use that red combat die. And any hits that she takes, you just track them here on this card. And because she can't be in a corridor, if she should happen to move, those hits should be persistent. So whether the insider is hostile or friendly, it's possible in either instance for the insider to die. So whenever that happens, take the insider's mini or standee, whatever the case, and the insider card and completely remove them from the game, but leave all the story cards intact unless something else is specified somewhere on the story cards. Because depending on what you're doing, you may be able to continue with the story even though the insider herself is dead. There's one last thing you need to know. Sometimes you'll see the instruction, remove the insider from the game. Whenever you see that, that means you're going to remove the insider herself, the insider card, and the story cards all from the game. So that means all the insider stuff is just out at that point. So again, that phrase is remove the insider from the game, and that means whatever you're doing with the insider is over. So that's it. I think it's pretty neat. I really like this this expansion. And I like that you don't know exactly what room she's going to end up in when you start playing, and that there's a different story depending on what room you find her in. So that was a really interesting way to add a lot of variety without a lot of overhead. Because each of the rooms, these missions are pretty short. They're like a couple cards, maybe 4 cards at the most. I don't think I saw anything more than that. But you don't know what you're going to get, and you don't know when you're going to find it. And then each story is just a little bit different. So that's pretty cool. So again, I'll be doing a solo playthrough with the Insider that is coming out this week. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. And then if you have any questions or if you think I've made a mistake, let me know in the comments below. Happy to talk to you about it there. Otherwise, I hope this was helpful. Thank you for watching Table for One, and I'll see you in the next video.